Come with me and you'll see how to draw from your imagination. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing today? My name is RODGON, and I have my puppy mustache here nipping in my arm. How are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. How about we draw some stuff today? Yesterday, I discovered something fun, and I wanted to teach it to you guys today. Yesterday, I discovered another way to draw the head. And it's actually quite interesting. And it involves only 3 circles. So if you guys want to learn how to draw a head in 3 circles, stay tuned, because we're going to learn that today. So our lesson today will involve this new method that I have been practicing to understand how the head actually functions through the spine. So we are going to be learning a new method today, and we're going to be practicing it, and we're going to be figuring out how we can actually develop a human structure based on a couple circles. This is going to be a guide to help alleviate the whole concept of the neck being a difficult situation. And that is my goal. So let me show you guys what I mean. If you guys want to stay for the lesson, make sure to hit that like button, because that's the only way you guys actually really help me. If you guys want to sign up to my YouTube and stuff like that, that's fantastic. If you guys really want to support and you guys learn something new today, make sure to buy my books and sign up for private mentoring and stuff like that if you guys are interested, because that's the way that I make my money. So if you start off with a line, a simple line, and you add 2 little circles to it, you can give yourself a semblance of a cylinder in space, right? That's not very difficult. Well, if you use this cylinder line that goes around the shape and you draw a straight line up, you end up with a jaw. Now, it doesn't mean that you have all the elements like your nose, your mouth, and everything like that. That's something that you need to learn to add, and you need to learn to add a little bit of area in the back for your brain bucket. But in the overall sense of the word, it's really easy. Now, if you draw a line and you draw 3 circles, you have access to your face and your neck almost immediately. Because you already have a line that goes around, you can use this to tilt your head in different directions. The ear would move if you tilt your head. So for some people that find it really hard to rotate a shape, all you really need to know now is a line, circle, circle, circle. And you can start drawing your shapes in different directions. Adjust the circle as needed. But it's just a very interesting way to approach faces. Side profiles, yeah, you can zoom out. No, the thing is, it's not even just zoom. It's not just profiles. If you draw a straight line and you draw a circle going this way, going this way, going this way, now this is facing forward. And it's giving you that angle underneath. Now, this doesn't look too impressive until you start applying more detail. When you start adding anatomy in the right places, you start seeing the power of having something that goes around quite clearly. You start seeing how easy it is to be able to map out my landing points because I have a line that goes around already, including my hairline. So, understanding that you can draw 3 circles, connect the edges, and taper, that's a kind of cool way to be able to draw your faces. Don't you think? So that was really, really cool for me to figure out yesterday. And that works perfectly when you connect it into the rest of your system because it goes nicely with the rest of the RODGON methodology. It fits nicely within the other structures that we set forth to be able to create our systems, to create our faces and heads and bodies in a way that there's no guessing left involved. I love your drowning. Thank you. You like me drowning? Thank you for liking me drowning. I know you meant drawing, but I'm not giving people shit that don't take the time to type in right. How do you draw wrists? Well, we're focusing on the head right now. And the reason I'm focusing on this is because this is a new way of seeing things. So if I learn how to draw a head through a cylinder and the stick, you can learn to draw heads relatively simple, like that. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Can you touch on the nose pyramid? How did you learn body proportions? By drawing a ton of people, dude. I know that the neck this here is really long, so I know that the neck is supposed to be around here. Just from drawing different people and not being afraid to adjust your drawing, you can get really far. Can you touch on the pyramid nose? Yeah. Well, let's say that you want to draw your nose when you already have this, right? So you have one circle, one circle, one circle. Decide your midline or your profile line. This last circle is going to be connected to an egg. And then you close the shape. Now let's say you have a midline for your face and you draw a triangle to start your facial features. If you draw a triangle and you draw a dot in front of that triangle, you can connect the edges and you can get yourself a pyramid, which gives you a perfect semblance for a nose. So as long as you connect a dot and connect the shape back onto the other ones, you can draw noses in any given shape that you want to draw them. As long as they always connect back. Regardless of the shape, it's going to look fine. Follow the guidelines of the triangle to find your eye sockets and your mouthpiece. And then from the eyebrow to the side of the face is the side of the skull. So you end up in a situation where all those features just fall into place nicely. And you also have the connecting point. Again, I'm drawing it too long. What do you run right there? I keep on drawing it way too long. So this is a mistake. Neck too long. We ain't giraffes, dude. Okay, so the ratio seems to be not half and half, but 2/3 and 1/3. That seems to be a good ratio. So if we draw that as 2/3, we add half of it, and we give ourselves a neck. So our 3 circles are like that. And does that give us a better proportions? Oh, hell yeah, that gives us way better proportions. That still may be a little bit too long, though. So let's reduce this to about a little bit smaller than that. So we'll make our initial shape. We'll do 1, 1. That's the shape of our head. And then our neck is going to be a little smaller. Cool. That's a nice little ratio right there. I like that much better. I love how you are also learning with this. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like one of you guys. I just happen to have a platform that lets me talk. You know, like these are the things that I'm doing, and you guys are probably doing them just as much as I am too. Now, once you understand this concept, you can draw a line, you can draw a ball, you can draw anything you want as your head. But now you're going to know where your spine is. So it's going to be easier for you to be able to map out the rest of your body because the body doesn't change in shape. Okay? Once you learn the circles, the other shapes become a little easier. And when you try to draw things in different perspectives, it's all about just taking these elements and seeing them in a different path. So rotating a basic shape like a cylinder gives you access to being able to draw your head in a bunch of different positions. See what I mean? So that is one thing that I want. Still getting over being sick. So sorry. I hate being sick. Spine, top of the head, bottom of the jaw, front of the face, connection to the body, taper, ear, and if you don't want to draw anything else other than that, you could just draw your faces like that, but you need something that sticks out before your nose and your lips. That is why we draw extra stuff coming out. Okay, most of the time, this little triangle that I draw is this. Okay, when you're drawing your shapes, you're gonna find yourself drawing this a lot. Okay, just a closed shape in the front. This, when you draw a little triangle, gives you access to half your face, so your eyes go here. Whatever type of eyes you decide to draw. They're going to go right there at the top of that triangle. This is going to be the extension and the limiters of your nose. So if you want to draw a really big nose, it always connects back to here. You can draw a little perky nose and it goes back to there. That triangle, you follow the lines down and it gives you your muzzle to your chin. And wherever you draw your eyebrow, the end of that eyebrow is going to indicate where your temples go, and that's the flat side of your face towards the side of your head. Half of this towards the back gives you your ear. From the bottom of your ear to your chin, that's your jaw. Your neck, depending on your level of fitness, is going to either have a jaw separation or no jaw separation. There's times where you don't have that jaw separation, and that's fine. Because not everybody has superhero jaws. Yeah, if you spam your questions, I will. First of all, I just won't answer your question out of spite because I am a petty motherfucker. I just won't answer your question because you're annoying me. Second, you know what it sounds like? Answer my question, answer my question, answer my question, answer my question, answer my question. If you did that in person, I would slap you with a tortilla. You know, like you would never have the audacity to do that in a classroom in person. So don't do something you wouldn't do in a person class. Don't do it here. Because you're literally just become the most annoying human being to me in like a second. And I stop wanting to help you. Because then you just become entitled. Yes, with a tortilla. Do I have a guidebook or so? Not yet. It's coming though. So the spine was a very important factor in this, right? Learning where the spine is in the back of the head is what allows us to be able to draw these shapes and make, again, neck is too long or head too small. There you go. Make the head bigger. Triangle, nose, lips, protrude, chin comes out, comes back into the face, and then it tapers down. Create a little bit of shadow. A straight line from here to the middle of the neck creates a neck muscle. And ta-da! Hi, baby mustache! Hi, baby! You finished your meat? You finished your chicken feet? Yeah? Okay. How does this work when facing forward? Very simple. Instead of drawing the spine on the side, draw it in the middle. So, draw it in the middle. And that's the same thing. Just draw it in the middle. And it gives you access to all those nice features still. And the beauty of it is it's just so simple. It's just a line with 3 circles, right? One for the chest, one for the top of the head, and one for the jaw. So you can change those up depending on what you need. And you now have access to drawing faces in different positions a little bit easier. Stop! Why are you like doing that? He's doing this weird thing where he like slobbers and bites, but he doesn't bite down because he knows if he bites down, he's gonna get bit back. How do you work with proportions? Okay, I'm gonna show you the easiest thing to do with proportions, okay? Okay? This is how you fix things. So if you draw something and the body looks too big or too small, let's say the body looks too small. Oh no, my body looks so small. That makes me upset. Well, if the body... No biting. That stops right now. Sit. Down. Good boy. Yeah, I'm not going to tolerate no nipping. All right. So if this is too small, you make a note and it's like, body too small. And guess what? You redraw over it until you get the proportions you want. If that's still too small, body's too small. Do over. Okay, that looks a little better. Cool. I'm going to leave the body like that. I'm going to make a note. I'm going to make something that tells me the significance of how big the body is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I like my head's about 4 heads tall. Ba, 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 ba. And then that is going to be a little bit easier on you next time. The next time you see something, you're going to be like, oh, okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I can draw a character based on those proportions. In different perspectives, even if they're completely exaggerated. I can start getting more semblance of what those proportions were. Okay? If it still looks off, you do the same thing. And this looks a little weird because of the head shape. So I'm going to change it, and I'm going to fix it with more proportioned body parts. And then I'm going to make a note. This 4 head tall was too short. So this technically is off still. So I need to make this bigger to make it fit within the structures of what I noticed didn't work with another structure. So I'm constantly going back into old drawings and changing things because I learn new things. And eventually you get to the point where you can just draw more freely. Like, honestly, it just gets to the point where you just know those proportions because you've drawn them so many times that you can just freely create. Once there's a synergy point, and that synergy point comes with understanding enough perspective and enough anatomy. And if you manage to learn those two concepts really well, everything else just falls into place. That looks so weird. But yeah, like if you're a person that struggles with proportions, start simple. Don't overcomplicate your body shapes so that you can actually see what the proportions do. Draw really big arms, you're going to have a certain look. Draw skinny arms, you're going to get a certain look. You want big fat legs, or do you want skinny legs? Okay? Do you want the upper body to be massive? Or do you want it to be a little bit more feeble? For like a little kid or something. Okay? All those proportions play a part into everything. So, like I said, it doesn't matter if your character is 8 heads tall, 9 heads tall. It's about what makes it appealing to you. You can quite frankly have a character that's about this tall and have it be just as appealing as a character that's this tall if it's drawn right. Okay. There's no differentiation. If you're going for hyperrealism, then that's something you have to really consider. But outside of hyperrealism, you just have to remember you need a rib cage, you need some hip bones, and you need a skull. And that is all provided by this little system right here. I call it the egg and compass. And then this bottom part is the sushi. Once you learn those two facets of drawing, it becomes really simple to be able to draw gesturally. And I have videos on them all over the internet. Egg, compass, cylinder, or what is a cylinder? It's circle, circle, circle. Ta-da! 3 circles for the head connected to the spine, okay? That's the same concept. Egg with the circle, divide the circle in 4. The middle is the belly button. The sides are the hip bones. From the hip bones down, we draw the outside edge of our legs into our feet. And then we draw the volume for our legs inside. Bam! How is it? This is the best way to draw someone at a sitting position. You want to see how easy it is? I'll show you in a second. Sitting position. First, you need something to sit on. So learn to draw a chair. Next, you put that circle touching the chair. Divide it into 4. The bottom quadrants are going to be your leg spaces. So anything that you draw from this little circle, this little circle, this little circle, is going to be a leg. So I'm going to start with the top, and then I'm going to give it volume. I'm going to start with the top, and I'm going to give it volume down. The spine is in the back of my body. So my egg can start from the back of my body. The compass gives me access to my collarbone and the spacing for my head. From here, this point in the compass gives me the outside edge of my arm. And I just need to do the same thing I do with the legs. Bring it in. Outside edge, bring it in. Outside edge, bring it in. Allow overlaps to happen, it's fine. And then you end up in a sitting position. Let's do it from the front. We draw our chair. We draw our circle on the chair. Mid, mid, circle, circle. These seem to be coming forward. So this top line of my hip bone, I'm going to draw the outside edge coming in the direction of the chair, using the chair perspective as a guideline. Draw the inside volume, tapering back to that same hole. Going around the side of your body, just go up and draw a compass. Now you have yourself a person, once again, sitting down. I'd love to see this chair in a 3/4 view. All right. 3/4 view. I don't know, I think it's really hard for you guys to move things in space. I think that because learning to draw this to me right now is showing me that maybe I have a lot more knowledge in this than I thought and a lot more practice in this. Because I would have thought that this was really hard back when I was younger. Now, I don't know if it's just the way that I have been describing it that makes it seem a little bit easier. But in my head, this is really easy now. The way you teach it makes it more simple than anything I've taught. I've been taught. Oh, you're sweet. But yeah, this is a very easy way to learn to pose your characters. The egg and the compass into the sushis. And someone said I can draw a female. These can be guys, these can be women, these could be anything. Like, your imagination is going to dictate how much of this actually stays anyway. So if your imagination is very limited because you can't see a human ribcage into a woman, it's going to be really difficult for you to be able to put anything into play imaginatively. The way you break things down easier, Crass. Hey, you're welcome, man. I like to think that I'm a good teacher. Can you do someone pointing a gun? Pointing a gun who? You want to point a gun forward? So are you looking forward to like the hand positioning? Because I think my finger would be right there. Then the other fingers would be wrapped around the wrist. All right. Maybe the thumb would be on this side. I have to use some reference, but maybe holding it with both hands, maybe some gloves, and then pa, 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 pa. What should I learn to draw first? Something that makes you happy. Something that you enjoy drawing. You should not consider drawing other people's drawings unless it makes you joyful. If you are not feeling any joy from any of the drawings you're doing, then you're doing the wrong type of art. Try different methods. Try different ways of seeing things. Try sculpting. Try digital. Try all these sorts of different methods so that you can actually learn to appreciate all sorts of different mediums, not just the one that is easiest to you. Learning to unlearn and learning to break out of your shell is going to be one of the hardest things that you need to learn as an artist, because we naturally like to gravitate towards the things that are really easy for us. Because when it's easy, you get to be creative. And as human beings, we like being creative. We like to stand out. As artists, we have very hard set-in egos, and we don't like taking too long using other people's techniques to be able to achieve knowledge, to achieve that synergy point that allows us to be able to draw freely. The thing is, we take so many steps and we skip so many steps on the way there that a lot of the times we end up kind of hurting ourselves because we skip steps that we shouldn't. A lot of those steps come from foundational work. And unfortunately, by messing up your foundations, you end up messing up everything else. And then you go on to a path of stylization before you're ready. And then you end up in a situation where you don't know how to draw anything outside of a certain particular set of styles. And, you know, I know this is not something that your teachers tell you, but that's the reason why they tell you not to draw anime, not to draw funny cartoons and stuff like that until you learn your fundamentals. Because once you learn your fundamentals, you can take those fundamentals and draw absolutely any style you want. But they forget to tell you that. because they don't really know what happens at all either. Like, they probably don't know the difference. They just know that if you do that, they just magically get better, but they don't know how to explain it to you guys in a way that makes sense. So if I tell you, stop drawing anime for like a year, okay? Draw it on your fun time, draw it on your off time. Don't draw it for like educational purposes, because it might harm you, because it's cementing things in your brain right now in your impressionable age. It's cementing concepts that are going to be really hard to break out of if you let them set in stone. AKA, if you learn how to draw eyes like anime style eyes instead of learning how to draw eyes normally, you're going to be stuck in drawing these weird shapes that are going to be harder to move in space. As opposed to learning that the eye is round and then the eyelid is what's being squared off at this point, and then therefore being able to use that knowledge to be able to draw those eyes in various situations. One is learning through knowledge, the other one's learning through style. And it couldn't be much a wider gap of difference whenever I see two people that learn those styles differently. Like if you see a person that learned through knowledge, it'll seem effortless. Like I'm doing right now. It'll seem effortless, completely effortless. You'll be like, oh, clearly this person knows a lot about anatomy and perspective and stuff. You can notice that confidence right away. And take it from a person that's seen countless amounts of portfolios. That is something that's very prevalent when it comes down to portfolio reviews. The 3 circles. So, knowing something makes a big difference when it comes down to drawing things. Okay? Knowledge, understanding things, is what allows you to be able to draw these things well. I'm not a magical wizard. I don't have any magical properties, and I'm not by any means anybody that is extraordinarily talented to the point where no one else can draw what I do. That is why so many people follow me, because I'm just one of you guys with a bigger platform. So you guys can enjoy these things. How have you been How many have you been practicing? You guys want to see a collection of my sketchbooks? Come with me and you'll see how I draw from my imagination. All right, so welcome to my bookshelf. Each one of these books is filled to the brim, and we can just pick up random ones if you want. My cool new sketch wallet. Let's choose this one. So this one was one where I decided that I was going to draw pretty stuff. And it was filled with people that sent in poses. And some of my favorite people in the world got drawn in this sketchbook. Yay! So I spent a ton of time just drawing and drawing pretty things, right? So this was a more illustrative book. And as you can see, I can replicate styles relatively simply because I just understand foundations, right? Once you understand the foundations, you can change and replicate any style you want. It's just a matter of seeing how you can do that. Let's see. What other drawings are in here? Yeah, this one's a good one. But all these sketchbooks are filled to the brim, and they normally take about like 3 or 4 months to finish sometimes. So every one of these is filled to the top with drawings. There's very little things that I don't like filling up to the brim. Ta-da! How can I learn cartoon style? Cartooning is one of the easiest and most difficult things to learn because simplification comes from understanding. And if you don't know, like, you can draw cartoons really simply by just drawing anything silly, right? Like, there's no limitations to cartoons. So you can draw eyes, different sizes. You can draw mouths, simple shapes. You can draw anything you really want, and that's technically a cartoon. But when you want to break away from the simple silliness of just drawing things without any real knowledge, and you want to actually get into the world, let's say, of animation and flow and stuff like that, you need to start understanding how those lines and how everything connects to be able to give a character life. The character being so simple is what allows you to be able to make them come to life easier. Because without having to worry about where everything is supposed to go, because it's simple, then our brains give us the ability to be able to be creative. And if you're able to be creative, you can tell your stories. Now, we learn countless techniques to be able to get to that endpoint. And a lot of the times we fall short because of our instruction. Most of the time, it's really hard to achieve this stuff without really having somebody there to guide you through it. Because it's really hard to visualize this stuff by yourself. It's really hard to make things click without a good teacher. And a lot of our teachers, as we grow up, are just regurgitating a lot of the same bullshit that, people have been learning over the last 200 years. So if I see it correctly, if I think about it correctly, it's kind of like playing the game of telephone with knowledge. By the end of it, you end up with a completely different way of how the person interpreted that information. So the same thing happens with things like lessons. You get people that don't really understand concepts teaching concepts that they don't understand completely. They can't teach them properly, and then they end up giving a whole generation of artists anxiety and panic attacks when they can't understand how to draw a simple face. Ask them to draw a face in a different angle, and then they freak the fuck out. Why do you give me the hard one? Why do you do this? Why do you? I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, calm the fuck down. First of all. Like, I've had people react like that, and it's interesting. They're like, yeah, how about you, okay, this person do this, and then this person do another one. And then like, why do you have to give me the hard one? I'm like, no, that's the point. None of these are supposed to be hard. Right? None of the viewpoints, none of the ways of visualizing the head should be hard to do. If you can draw one, you should be able to draw the others because they're the same shape. My mom watching, I don't change the way I talk because of other people watching. I'm sorry. And that's not something that I like doing. So I'm sorry you're casting it on your TV because I accidentally say the occasional bad word or the occasional frustration point, and I don't feel like always watching my tongue. So I do appreciate for any awkward moments. She farted! She farted! Taylor farted! Taylor farted! I just wanted to let you guys know. Oh, Taylor, never tell me something I can embarrass you with. Oh, you gave me too much power there. I'm sorry. Oh man, I'm dying. I needed that laugh. Yeah, I'll upload it today. It's gonna be uploaded and it's gonna come out probably Monday, but it'll be uploaded today. That was a great. Oh, but we'll catch you up, Tara. You seem to be a nice person, and you seem to be a person that like checks in some once in a while. So the main topic today is the understanding of three circles connected with a line in the back, giving you access to a cylinder and the top of your rib cage, making it really simple to be able to draw a structure like the jaw. By learning to see things like that, it makes it really simple to be able to identify some of the most troublesome parts of the body. And that is normally how to draw the neck and the head and make it look like it doesn't look horrible. And I think I solved that. By just teaching people how to draw their spine. So you start with your spine, and then you draw 1, 2, connect for your head, and 3 for your neck. And you can use that circle ambiguously to either draw it this way or the other ways to be able to create head tilts and stuff like that. Why does this look easier than any reference seen on Pinterest? Because I do that. See, Rod has a superpower. Rod's superpower isn't drawing. Rod's superpower is teaching. So it doesn't matter if you give me the concept of drawing or the concept of teaching you how to play Magic the Gathering. If I understand the topic, I can teach it better than most people because I just have communication skills that allow me to do that, right? I have developed my ability to translate information a little bit more than other people, so I don't just draw better than most. I can also explain it better than most, which makes me a very powerful entity. Oh, thank God it's Friday. Oh, we're doing a really cool lesson today. We're calling it the 3-circle method. Somebody called it something different yesterday, and I liked it. I totally forgot what they called it, though. Did I write it down? Okay, hold on. We were doing some examples of it yesterday, too. So doing pinups yesterday with them. Yeah, so as you can see, it's very easy to draw, like, with this method. It's just 3 circles. And it pivots around your neck. So your head movement, it's all dependent on your spine. Can I do longer hair? Sure. There you go. Longer hair. Long hair is kind of like vines, right? It grows up and then goes down. Goes up and then down. Up and then down, and then you connect the edges. Up, down, connect the edges. So as long as you draw the hair going up first and then going down, it's always going to give you the semblance of hair. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Remember, it's clumps of hair. So you go Up from the hairline, down. Up, down. And then you fill in the space to however wide you want it. She's brilliant. You're doing good at showing how you go from real to, well, hello. Can you do somewhere? Yeah. So if you want to have a character look up, instead of drawing your cylinder forward, with these being a little bit more narrow, yay! Make your cylinder with fuller circles, and that's going to give you a more upwards face, right? But not knowing how to map out the shapes of the face makes it really hard to be able to do that. So I'm going to show you guys how to use a triangle to do that. So a fuller circle means that you're going to see a little bit more of the bottom of the jaw. Draw a line, draw a triangle, and then draw the guidelines that come from that triangle on your face. It's going to end up in a situation where it looks like a little skull, actually. Because you go triangle, guideline, guideline, guideline up, guideline around, and up. And you end up in a situation that looks like a little mask. This is what you use to be able to draw your head at different angles. Let's do it easier. Hold on. Triangle, guideline, 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 guideline. Circle, circle, circle. Draw myself my circles and give myself my guidelines for my head. So the first circle is the head. The second one is, okay, no. The egg and the compass are the body parts. So if you draw a compass with an egg, this is your rib cage. This is where your arms are going to come out. This is where your volume is going to come in, and you're going to have yourself a nice little body like that, right? This is the bottom circle of the 3-layer stack. Now, this is the bottom circle. You replicate the size of this circle 2 more times. So the width of this one, just replicate it 2 more times, and you're going to have yourself a nice little semblance for a head. You just have to play around with the spacing here. I seem to get it off a little bit. But this is, again, a new theory for me as well. So I'm learning how to use it as much as I'm teaching it. And it's not something taught by someone else, so it's something that I'm just teaching myself to teach you guys. Eventually, I want to get people to just understand that the head is kind of like a stepladder situation. And it always is connected. So you can also draw like a beanbag with a crevice, and that crease being the breaking point for your head and your neck. So you can see your neck in a bunch of different ways, but you got to start seeing your whole system as one. Instead of seeing like a floating head, like don't draw your heads floating, you know, like draw your head all detailed and then, oh, how am I going to connect this to the body? Well, no, everything's connected. So everything should have some measure of connection. Always see a body part and then draw the one part next to it as well. Okay? So if you learn to draw the eye, always draw the eyebrow and like the nose bridge a little bit. If you're going to draw the mouth and also draw the nose so that you learn how to connect those things together. Never just draw a floating shape because it's not going to teach you anything. Always draw a body part and then a body part connected to that so that you always have a connecting theme like a puzzle. So if you're going to draw a head, always draw a little bit of the neck so that you can get used to drawing that together. Looking down is just about chaining those circles and changing them in a different direction. Your neck is controlled by your spine. Can you show how to get 3/4 with this? 3/4, well, you just draw that initial line that we draw, normally drawing it in the side and the back, right? To get a profile, because our spine is in the back. We draw 3 circles. Well, if you just draw this line in 3/4 instead of in the back, you end up with a more 3/4 pose. You can even draw things from the back. Try giving the hair more volume. It's coming down. Sure, dude. I don't care. It's not a hair lesson, okay? It's not a hair lesson. If we wanted a hair lesson, I would give you guys more explanation on hair. But it's not. So please refrain from silly comments that aren't relevant to our concepts. And I don't know what you're meaning by drowned rats, but that is just weird. And if you keep doing that, I'm going to block you. Hey there, would you mind checking out some of my posts? Hey, no, I'm not going to go and look at your posts. You know how many people ask me that? I do offer portfolio reviews and I offer critiques and stuff like that for people that are willing to donate a little bit to the cause. So if you guys want to get your portfolios reviewed, all I ask is a donation to the studio. That's something that's going to help me teach better. That's my consultation fee from now on. If you want to donate something that can benefit my studio, I will gladly give you tutoring time. So that way it doesn't come out as a financial thing, because I don't really care about financial stuff. Honestly, if I told you guys what my brain is really thinking about where my life is leading, I would probably make you realize that I'm not really concerned with money. But yeah, it's that's gonna be something that I consider, because I need a scanner, I need a router. Somebody offered to buy a router. I need to respond to him. But other equipment like lighting and stuff like that is always useful, and backdrop stuff. So if you guys want to help me get that, I will gladly take donations for that. Mastermind Labs. Oh, that's you. No, I'll hit you back up, but soon. I get a lot of messages, though. Okay. All right. So, with that being said, I think that we successfully accomplished our lesson today. Being able to draw a head from 3 different little circles was actually successful. to a point where I didn't think it was going to be. This was actually a very, very easy way to be able to see the face and learning how the jaw structure works. And I think it's a very easy guide to be able to follow for most people. It might be a little bit simpler than drawing them the way that you have been drawing them so far. And it's going to take a little bit of unlearning what you have learned in order to be able to make full use of this. So if you guys feel like doing so, remember that this is just complementary to the knowledge you already have. Apply everything that you already have and see how this complements it. It's not going to replace the knowledge that you have because that's something that's already ingrained in you. Unfortunately, if you don't learn how to draw from me immediately, you end up having things that might not make sense in the way that I teach. So that's why I like to teach everything from scratch, and every lesson starts with a circle pretty much. So welcome to my class. Welcome to what I do, what I teach, what I want to do. I aim to be a good, and if not the best, art teacher in the world, because that's just what I do with everything. And if you guys want to help me get there, go sign up to my YouTube channel, go sign up to my TikTok, go sign up for notifications for my lives so you guys can level up every time that I go on. And if you guys want to learn at a more beginner level friendly, you guys can go follow my mod, Wes. Wes he gives lessons every day as well. And whenever I can't hop on here, he is a great substitute for, getting some knowledge in. So I highly recommend you guys check him out. He's getting quite good at his lessons, and he's able to teach the techniques that I teach in a very simplified way as well. So if you guys feel like getting a little bit more knowledge, go follow him. If you guys want to get a ton more tips, just go find them in my YouTube channel. There's links in my bio. There's books for sale if you guys want to support. All that random nonsense. And with that being said, my friends, we have successfully learned something new. We have successfully learned how to communicate it, and we have successfully practiced it several times to success. So we can easily say that this is a technique that works quite nicely, and I highly recommend it for those people that have an issue drawing the underside of the jaw or find it really hard to find the roundness to their shapes because cylinders or circles just connected to each other, which is a cylinder, is going to be a very simple way to go and start about learning how to do all that stuff. Okay? Take care, everybody. You guys are awesome. See you guys probably later on today for another stream because I don't think I have any plans today and I don't feel like driving and I still feel sick. So I might just come on and just draw with you guys a little bit more. So take care till I see you guys again. And yeah, this is your favorite teacher signing off. Bye.